Then sprint onto the Mistral straight for the first time, and already Nelson Mason.
A spinner.
Yeah, we've got a spinner at the back of the field.
It's a Devoto car.
It is.
Another spinner. Another spinner.
Oh, and there's several of them going around. One of the Campos cars, they're all running wide. So clearly the track is an awful lot damper maybe than we thought it was, and they're all getting caught out, and there's contact, and that's one of the Westech cars.
Looks like two of the Westech cars.
Rather drop kick the other one out of contention.
That's another Westech car there, the Quanzhou.
Now to a timed race, as we've got a spinner there.
Sean Walkinshaw.
And that's what happened to
Urrutia's car looks fairly second-hand to me.
As he's obviously come into contact with something in the first of the RP Motorsport cars, but it's Spencer Piggott who is leading as contact between Urrutia and one of the Westech cars. I think it's the Pulsis and Nelson Mason who goes off. They clatter into the concrete barrier. 66 car of Cameron Twynham that goes around as he was busy being passed by one of the Corbetta Competizione cars. Spencer Piggott. Right, here is the incident between Paggi and LaRocca once more. The same thing to the Inventor, as sliding off goes Carballo. As we take another look, then that turned through on the first lap, and it was Nelson Mason, Hector Hurst coming together, making contact, and really that was a little bit over-optimistic from Nelson Mason. Then in the background, another couple of cars by his teammate. More dramas for the Westech team. Do you want your day to get? As on the last lap, further dramas a little bit lower down the order. It's one of the Campos cars, and it's a great start from Hector Hurst. He is well away. He moves across immediately to cover the line from Ed Jones. Jones has to defend as we've got two cars spearing off to the side of the road, one of which has come into contact with the barrier. But that may be pending further investigation as one of the Campos cars gets launched onto two wheels. I think possibly Andre Saravia, and there is Dennis Nagulin launched onto two wheels. Suspect he may have damaged the suspension for these corners. There's more dramas in the midfield. We can have another look at this, and it was contact with Nelson Mason, who is having one of those weekends, the winner of the first race of the year. There's a big spin for Lee Inventor in the Westech car, the copper class, and more contact, and it is Dennis Nagulin who's come together with Yarin Stern as they head down into the braking zone for the opening hairpin, and there's an incident behind. It's Artur Janos who wipes out Nieto, and that's a huge incident for Artur Janos, the car. And again, you see there the pace at which Janos arrived. That is a very, very lucky escape for all concerned. It's all up in time. That could allow Sean Walkinshaw through, and contact further back, and being tipped around into a spin. It's Gerardo Nieto. The Spanish driver is trying to make the move. There's also skittering off into the gravel trap in the Neo Devoto cars. As further back, we've got somebody slamming through the gravel trap. That's a bumpy ride. It all got very, very lively into Stowe for the first time. Sandra Kugno and Emil Bernstorff made contact. Bernstorff fired into the gravel trap. Kugno retired with a broken car. Igor Urian then came into contact with Richard Gonda. Urian then got caught up with the Inventor just a lap later. And there have been some rather over-optimistic manoeuvres in the early stages of this race. Let's have another look, and it was on the Wellington Straight as we have the opportunity to enjoy Artur Janos, the Mason and Jones battle, and contact, and it's Nelson Mason makes contact to Yarin Stern further back through the field. We've got the Corbetta car. No, and over goes Saud Al Faisal. Is inverted at the loop. Let's have another look at it. Yeah, it's definitely Al Faisal. And over it goes, and he should be fine from that. The safety congested heading into the source for the first time. Stuvit ran out wide, and that then enabled Ed Jones to come through as further back. But it's clearly very tricky conditions. So now into the lead, it's Ed Jones as another car goes off at the top. So that's a great move from Alexei Chuklin. He goes into fifth. Another car heads off in the background. Dramas further back. Oh dear, and that's contact between Alexander Toril and Dennis Nagulin. Nagulin in the white car, turning the car of Toril. and really just going for space. Jones, who takes the lead of the race into they come, and over he goes in the back of the shot, and that is Santiago Urrutia, it would appear, who's been launched. And here we see it again, and they all slowed down. They fanned out looking for space, and you can see it's one of the DAV cars absolutely launched into the air. Unfortunately, the number has of course been ripped off, and then subsequent contact from another car, and so a very, very nasty incident. This is the incident that originally brought out the safety car. It all just got very busy into Les Combes for the first time, and just interlocking wheels, and it was Santiago Urrutia who got flipped into the air to Monza. Let's have another look at it. And Gonda, Ambition won, just trying too hard into the final chicane. In reality, I don't think either of them were quite going to make it. But very, very frustrating for the Slovakian driver. Here we go, and it was a spin from Schweinem, and he actually then forced Chuklin into the spin. So there's a replay of Richard Gonda being launched into the air and removing the rear wing. I think it was Trino Rojas now. Of the year thus far, but he was flying in free practice on Friday and walking up and down the pit lane talking to the teams. We have a spin from Nicholas Pola as they head out of Lesmo and on to and a spin behind, and it is Valerio Carballo who then immediately gets his eyes fixed head on Urrutia. He makes a mistake and flies off at the Lesmos and clatters into the tyre barrier, and he just put a wheel on the grass, and Santiago Urrutia flies out of the lead of the race. See it from another view, that's a big impact, shows just how strong these Dallara chassis are. Down in lower reach of the field throughout, Igor Urian and Gerardo Nieto had that coming together that eliminated Urian. Lap after lap, they changed places, as did plenty of the cars throughout the field. More dramas. Wheel-to-wheel contact with another car. It was Carballo who rotated from the fray. She, though, should rejoin. We've got dramas for Valerio Carballo once more.